Toronto 7-4, a win to Jake Arrieta. Javi Baez with a homer and 3 RBIs. Cleveland had 6 straight wins until last night. The Indians at Kansas City this evening. The Tribe first in the AL Central, 5.5 games over KC, and Cleveland has activated star reliever Andrew Miller. Corey Kluber at 11-3 is tonight's starting pitcher. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. Georgia Tech star running back Dedrick Mills was kicked off the team. He led the club in rushing as a freshman last year. Penn State approved a new 6-year deal for coach James Franklin. He's now among the top 5 highest paid coaches, averaging about $5.7 million a year. NASCAR's Xfinity races tonight at Bristol. The Cup Series runs Saturday night. I'm Steve.
Your shot at a trip to our iHeart Radio Music Festival now. Text the keyword blackjack to 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeart Radio info. Standard data and message rates apply. That's blackjack to 200-200.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set,
just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Columbia. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back at it once again. 316 Greystone Boulevard. Fast-paced, action-packed, hurry-up, no-huddle sports talk programming for you. Fox Sports Radio 1400 in the Midlands. Heard around the world on the iHeart Radio application. Download it today. It's free. The Clemson Sports Talk app also free. ClemsonSportsTalk.com, the website, going to be relaunching a brand new look and feel really soon. 803-978-1832 is the number. 803-978-1832. The hashtag on Twitter, CST Show, at CST Show. Lowell's in the building today, man in the board. He's at Lowell CST as we hang out with you here for another 2 hours talking about the national champion Clemson Tigers as they head into the 2017 campaign, trying to go back to back and even more so trying to make a three-peat in terms of appearing in the college football playoff. Lots of guests lined up for you tonight. Looking forward to Lou Bezjak joining us as it is week 0 in high school football. Zach Lentz will be joining us in a little bit as well, plus Shane Dorr from Palmetto Championship Wrestling coming on board. So a lot to get to here on the program tonight, as always, because, well, 1, it's August, and 2, we're getting close to college football, so I know that you all are enjoying that. I want to begin with a couple of different items tonight on the docket. We'll begin with some news out of Georgia Tech, though, first, as Georgia Tech has dismissed their leading running back, Dedrick Mills, for a violation of athletic department rules. Now, Mills, who was named to the preseason All-ACC team after leading the Yellow Jackets with 771 yards rushing and 12 touchdowns as a true freshman in 2016, was absolutely thought to be a key part of this Georgia Tech offense. Mills was suspended and missed 3 games last season on 2 separate suspensions for, quote, unspecified violations of team rules. Coach Paul Johnson had expressed confidence his young back would avoid further off-the-field issues this summer. Mills had suggested that he had moved on from his indiscretions. He said that he was not going to reminisce on the past. Those are the words of Dedrick Mills just 2 weeks ago, given to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. He went on to say, of course, that's always a goal, to not get kicked off the field. You always want to be on the field. You never want to get taken off. I'm going to keep myself on the field this year. Apparently, Mr. Mills is not going to be on the field. Mills is out at Georgia Tech, their leading rusher, returning in 2017. You may expect to see him featured next year on Last Chance U, I would assume, at some point. Perhaps he'll be the new star. They're actually moving from East Mississippi Community College. Sitting across from me, though, with a proven shirt on just to let people know that the Tigers are the champions. He is the artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern. Lowell, what's up, buddy?
Bada boom. Realest champs in the room. How you doing?
Busy, tired, worn out. Just a little bit of everything, I'll be honest with you. Not feeling it. Not feeling it.
Not feeling it.
Not at all.
Lawton Swan, not feeling it.
Probably the first time in 5 years, not feeling it today. So we'll see if we can navigate this
I
thing.
even brought in something to kind of get you pepped up. And
Yeah, this is something. Energizing midnight grape with just the right amount of kick. I'm trying it.
they were 2 for $3 at CVS, so I went for it.
Well, all in. 2 for $3. Yeah, this is a big deal, though, for Georgia Tech. I mean, this is an offense that, you know, when it's going well because of the ground game. It's rare that you walk out of a game against Georgia Tech and go, man, if we could have just stopped them from throwing the football. It's all about that ground game. And for the Yellow Jackets, here's a kid who, you know, by all accounts was, you know, preparing to have another big year and yet just can't keep himself straight off the field. And now dismissed from the team. Dismissed from the team is Dedrick Mills, running back at Georgia Tech. Again, their leading rusher last season and was a preseason All-ACC team, All-ACC selection. So, you know, I know that coaching staffs get frustrated with this stuff. And I can imagine that today when Paul Johnson had to make that final decision or hear the news that this was going to be happening, it's not fun. It doesn't matter who your program is. You hate to dismiss a kid because that means they just haven't got their head screwed on straight. Kudos, though, to Georgia Tech for having some standards, for being willing to dismiss players for multiple violations, where there are some schools that just do everything in their power to keep guys there and use it under the guise of, well, we want to make sure that we take care of these guys and we believe in second and third chances and we're doing everything we can to make sure that we're doing the best thing for the player, when in reality, most of the time, trying to do the best thing for the player is really about trying to do the best thing for yourself. If Paul Johnson wanted to have a successful year, then maybe they would have tried to figure out a way to work around the situation with Dedrick Mills. Some schools have the 3 strikes and you're out type rules. I don't know if that's the thing that Georgia Tech has in place that caused this to happen, because this was the 3rd offense, but their leading rusher out as they head into that 2017 Kickoff Classic game against Tennessee over in Atlanta. That's a big loss for the Yellow Jackets. Believe you me, today, Clemson Tiger fans, South Carolina Gamecock fans, Florida State Seminole fans are thankful that they're not talking about removing a leading rusher from their backfield this close to the college football season. It's a big loss for the Yellow Jackets. Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, it is. And they, you know, they sort of have their own style of a plug-and-play system where they can put a guy back there and he's going to get some yards and get some touchdowns. But there are certain guys, like we talk about with every system, that elevate the system to another level. Dedrick Mills, as a freshman, ran for nearly 800 yards and I think 13 touchdowns. I mean, that's unheard of for anybody in any kind of offense. He was quick. He was big. He could break tackles, and when he broke a tackle, he could take it the distance. He was a perfect fit for that system at Georgia Tech. And now they've got a couple guys who they're high on who performed well in the spring and are performing well in the fall camp.
Yeah. But
I don't know that either of those guys will bring to the table what Mills was able to.
Well, and the other thing you got to consider, the 770-plus yards he had, there were 4 games that he didn't play in because of suspensions. There were four games in that schedule that he didn't play in. He played in 9 games and rushed for nearly 800 yards. You don't have to be some Einsteiner to figure out the mathematics on that to know that that's nearly 100 yards per game rushing that Dedrick Mills was putting down. And as you said, for a freshman coming into this year, he was expected to be a tremendous asset for this Georgia Tech football team. I mean, he's a kid, he's about 5'10", 5'11". You know, you're talking about 220 pounds, kind of a big back, takes some blows, but still has the shiftiness and the ability to get into the open field. minus him, I don't know where their season ends up. As you said, this is a big loss for any team, but if you're a team that is built like Georgia Tech to feature running backs, to feature the A backs and the B backs and all the different guys, then maybe kind of like if Clemson lost a wide receiver right now for some reason, they would go, well, we got some guys in the cupboard. We'll see what Georgia Tech does this year minus their star running back, but that's not the news you want just a couple of days out from that opener against Tennessee over in Atlanta.
And that's the B-back position. That's the position that really gets the offense rolling. That, when you talk about stopping the option offense, the first thing you have to stop is the dive. He was the dive man. I mean, you think back to some of the good diving they've had, a guy like Jonathan Dwyer who gave Clemson nightmares. Dedrick Mills was their B-back. That is the position that you need to have a really good running back at, because if you can, you're breaking off runs with the B-back, you're going to be able to get to the outside because they're going to have to start crashing the middle. And so it's a huge loss in terms of their running back because that's the most important running back position on the field.
803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. We'll keep it with the running back position, but we'll shift gears just a little bit and head towards Tigertown and talk about the Clemson Tigers again. Coming into the 2017 season, one of the things that we've tried to touch on quite a bit here is the value and the importance of losing a guy like Wayne Gallman. And I know that in the annals of Clemson Tiger football history, I will look foolish when I try to make an argument that maybe at the end of the year, the bigger loss out of Deshaun Watson and Wayne Gallman ultimately turns out to be Wayne Gallman. But I will say this about Wayne and the guys that were behind him and the guys that are getting a chance to make a name for themselves. There is a certain quality that Wayne Gallman possesses that I haven't seen from a C.J. Fuller, that I haven't seen from an Adam Choice, that I haven't seen from a Tavian Feaster, and that I haven't seen from a Travis Etienne, and that is, again, a selflessness that he played the game with. And I respect that so much because I think it is difficult. I think it is extremely difficult in any circumstance for you to find a way to be selfless in a sport that is so much about me. I think that is just difficult, and it's incredibly difficult when you're talking about kids in college, many of which are hoping to play professionally at some point. Everybody wants to point to themselves. A lot of people want to point to the name on the back of the jersey, not the name that's on the front of the jersey. And for the Clemson Tigers, and I guess technically the name's not on the football uniform on the front, but you're picking up what I'm putting down. A lot of times players are more me instead of all about the team. I've seen some of that from Adam Choice during his career, but nobody's done it as well as a guy like Wayne Gallman. The good news is for the people who are buying into, say, a Tavian Feaster this year with more weight on, again, the former five-star running back out of Spartanburg, continuing to fight for playing time, continuing to impress the coaching staff. He opened up the fall camp at number 3 on the running backs list behind C.J. Fuller and Adam Choice, but beginning to work his way more towards the top as Clemson gets prepared for that September 2nd matchup against Kent State. Here's what Tony Elliott had to say after practice on Thursday. He said Tavian and C.J. Fuller have been mostly working with the ones because Choice has been out for the last couple of days, so he hasn't had any reps. Right now, you've got Fuller 1, you've got Tavian with a close number 2, and then Choice was having a very, very good camp, but he missed last week. In addition to that, for Clemson, the guy that kind of gets a little bit of an eyebrow raise every time I say his name out of Lowell the intern. I joked the other day Lowell was ready to anoint him, and Lowell said, not quite, Swanee. Not quite, but I am warming up the anointing oils over here just in case I have to. But Travis Etienne, who I think physically reminds me more of Wayne Gallman than any of these backs, really, and just how he looks.
Are you sure it's just not that number 9 he's wearing?
That helps. That helps. I mean, if if Zarek Cooper were waltzing around in the number 4 jersey, I might actually go, whoa. DW4 makes his way back for a little cameo appearance here at fall camp. But in terms of running backs, Clemson 2017, I think it's a big deal. And I think it's an even bigger deal, as a matter of fact, than the news that came out the other day where Dabo Swinney seemed to insinuate that Kelly Bryant was going to be the starter against Kent State and that he would have to regress for anybody to catch him. You kind of heard that vibe from Dabo Swinney. At least that's the way I heard it. You call and let me know. Say, Swanee, you're an idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. That's 803-978-1832. Or you can text me.
That may be true regardless.
Thanks to the Ocean Reef Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. That's 803-450-0086. I think maybe even bigger news than that whole Kelly Bryant thing is hearing that Tavian Feaster is not only moving up the depth chart, but a close second to taking over, perhaps at the number 1 spot. Because the one thing I will give C.J. Fuller is this. Of all the guys that we have seen in terms of who was here to play this year, C.J. Fuller, to me, had been more consistent than we'd seen from Adam Choice, certainly more consistent than Tavian Feaster. So to hear that, and Etienne hadn't been around really prior to this camp. But in terms of that news, I think it's a big step for the Clemson Tigers that you have a guy like Tavian Feaster making his mark right now prior to the season.
And when we went up there, when Zach and I went up there for the opening day of fall camp, we both saw Tavian Feaster and saw Tavian Feaster working a little bit, and we both said, whoa, this guy looks like a monster. He looks like, I think Zach said it best, when he looks like a guy that Alabama would have in their backfield. He looks like that type of guy. I wonder at what point, the big question around Tavian Feaster has been about his pass protection. I wonder at what point you sort of sacrifice a little of that pass protection to get a guy of his explosiveness onto the field.
Hey, Kelly, just do your best to get out of the way if anybody gets through him. You're an athletic guy. We need to get him out there and get the ball in his hand. The other side of that is something that we've talked about here all summer long. And I haven't held the coaches, probably Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott, accountable enough for the lack of opportunities that they gave Tavian Feaster last year in space. Because even if you believed, and I understand, I think one of the differences probably in this year's team and a willingness to give him opportunities, he's more mature. But 2, you're not protecting the Mona Lisa behind you, if you follow me. I don't want to make it sound like Kelly Bryant is expendable, okay? But there's not armed guards and security around him the way there kind of was for the protection of a Deshaun Watson. You don't want to lose Kelly Bryant, but the distance between Kelly Bryant and the next man up is much less than the distance was, in my opinion, from a Deshaun Watson to a Kelly Bryant. So maybe they felt like, look, we can't do what we want to do this year without Deshaun Watson, so we got to protect him at all costs, even if that means limiting opportunities for Feaster in space, where I just wish they would have hit him on some swing passes out in the flats and let him go all C.J. Spiller on people.
I think last year you could see it. I noticed it every time he tried to return a kick. He was a little timid last year trying to adjust to the college game. He wasn't turning it on. He wasn't hitting the jets on kick returns. He was kind of tiptoeing up the field and sort of trying to look around and try to pick out a hole. And it's like, you gotta go. You gotta pick somewhere and go. And so I think now, I think that's part of the reason he didn't get as much playing time last year was he was a little timid. I gotta think that he's got to be adjusted by now.
One of the things that C.J. Spiller always did so well, by the way, Lou Bezjak from the State newspaper coming up here in 3 minutes. C.J. Spiller would run, 5, 6, 7 yards in one direction, find a hole, cut back, and then he was wide open, hitting the gas. We hit the gas with Lou Bezjak next.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeartRadio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to Win Your Trip.
Vegas!
Introducing new M&M's brand caramel candies. Or is it caramel? No matter how you say it, they're delicious. Unsquare caramel or caramel with new M&M's brand caramel candies today.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Time's running out. It's just about here. If you cater to the bridal market and want to get in front of hundreds of new clients in just one afternoon, you need to be at our next bridal show. Network with other wedding pros, and most importantly, book business. 104.7 WNOK's Fall Bridal Showcase coming up September 17th at the Columbia Metropolitan Convention Center. Presented by Southern Wade Catering, Carolina Bride Magazine, American Floral, and Columbia Bridal Associates. Reserve your space now at bridecityshows.com. Don't wait, that's bridecityshows.com.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Would you buy a pool table on the internet? Big mistake. Chances are it'll be low quality, warp, and become unlevel. The place to buy a quality table that's gonna last is Carolina Pool Tables Plus. Forget the net. Carolina Pool Tables Plus, 799-5305.
Fox Sports Radio 1400 has your chance to be the ultimate Newberry Opera House fan. Tickets to all the shows for the upcoming season. All of them. Sign up now at the contest tab at foxsportsradio1400.com.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
It is the Friday night edition of the show that shakes the Southland right here in the Midlands on Fox Sports Radio 1400 around the world on the iHeart Radio app and live on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. The artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern in the building doing his work. Lou Bajak joins us from the state newspaper. He's got you all covered up on the high school football scene here in the Midlands of South Carolina and extended coverage as they move towards the high school playoffs. And Lou, once again, back at it, week 0, the strangest thing in the history of the world. A lot of these kids aren't even in school yet, oddly enough, yet. They're going to be playing some football tonight under the lights in the Midlands, man. Good to have you back on.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's usually they would have started school this week, but I think because of the eclipse, not too many. Some schools have started. I know some of the private schools and that have started, but everyone else really gets going next week. But full slate of games on tonight, and it should be a good season and a lot of different storylines and everything going on.
Lou, how does that even work? I know how the week 0 thing works, but how does it even work that games are being played right now and school hasn't even started? I just don't get it. Like, are there potentially kids playing tonight that aren't enrolled in the right school yet, and the schools just believe they're coming?
You got to be enrolled. No, you got to be enrolled. You got to be enrolled sometime in June or whatever.
I mean, it's so weird, right? I mean, you'd think you'd have to go to a class or two before you actually step out on the football field.
I don't know. I went to high school in Ohio. We usually played 2 games before we had our first class
Let's face it,
because
Lou,
we didn't start. We didn't start till after Labor Day.
I was going to say, Lou, tell the truth. You didn't go to class all that often. Let's just be honest with the people.
No, we didn't go to school until after. We didn't start school till after Labor Day. So we had 2 games usually before start of school.
Lou Bezjak here on Clemson Sports Talk. All right, Lou, so looking around the Midlands, for those people that maybe haven't found a team to follow, don't have a team that they follow yet, who's the team this year that you think is going to generate the most interest locally?
Probably Dutch Fork. I mean, year in, year out with Coach Knotts since he's been there. He's been the guy. They've been the program, and coming off an undefeated year. And he likes his team coming back. He's going to his old stomping grounds tonight back at Independence in North Carolina, where he won 6 state titles. But I think they're definitely the team to beat, especially with Bryce Thompson, who came back there for his senior year after being at Ben Lippen for 2 years. So they're the team to beat, and probably the most fun to watch.
On Twitter, he's at Lou at the State. Again, tonight, humidity, heat, everything kind of affecting some things. I know that River Bluff and Chapin game moved back a little bit later to an 8 p.m. kickoff. Talk about the matchup there between the Eagles and the Gators.
Well, it should be a good one. Last year, River Bluff played with a lot of emotion. Lewis Simpkins, one of their players, died earlier in off-season workouts, and they played with emotion. They ended up it was a great game. They came out with the victory, and they're going to have to match that intensity this year as well. Chapin's pretty good. River Bluff went through a coaching change in the off-season. Blair Harden taking over for David Bennett, so it's going to should be a good night. Football. Chapin has replaced a lot of key players. Trad Beatty, who was their starting quarterback, is at Ben Lippen, where I'll be tonight, and a couple other players also graduated. So it's going to be it should be a good ball game. Two close kind of rivals, and I look for another competitive game.
Lou, you talked about earlier Dutch Fork going on the road to take on Independence up in Charlotte, and then you've got University Christian playing Ben Lippen, the game. You're going to be out of Florida. I think that just speaks volumes about how big high school football is getting, that you're seeing more and more of these interstate type games. These things didn't exist very much back in the 1980s. As somebody who covers high school football, how is that for you in terms of, having a bunch of players and teams that maybe you don't traditionally cover rolling in and playing teams that you do cover on a regular basis?
Yeah, I think it's good, and especially get non-region. It's a good trip. I mean, I know Dutch Fork just going to Charlotte, but a few years ago they went to Allen, Texas, and played a game. Something kids will always remember, these kind of marquee games. University Christian coming up from Jacksonville has a little bit of a tie to the Midlands. Heath Nivens, who played at Dutch Fork and actually was a head coach at Ben Lippen, is an assistant at University Christian. They kind of put this thing together. So I think it's pretty good. I mean, it gives you high quality competition, and it's something that you'll remember if you go out of state on a bus, on a plane, wherever. And I'm in favor of these marquee out of state matchups.
Now, Lou, anytime I went on a trip when I was in high school, I always had to sell donuts or chocolates or something to make the way. How did the schools fund trips like this? And I know going to Charlotte's not a big deal, but I mean, how do teams afford to make long trips to like the state of Texas? Are they doing some fundraisers?
Yeah, they would do fundraisers and stuff like that. Yeah, fundraisers, booster clubs help out. Yeah, different kind of things. And teams that a few years ago. I mean, if you're playing on ESPN, also those kind of games, ESPN will put up some money as well too. If you'll see in these next couple of weeks, these marquee national matchups, teams getting on planes, that TV helps out in this situation as well.
Lou Bezjak here on Clemson Sports Talk for a few more minutes. Again on Twitter at Lou at the State. Lou, my team's the Barnwell Warhorses. We're out of the Midlands, so we won't talk about them. But my wife might be listening. She's a former Spring Valley Viking, and tonight they're on the road at Fort Mill taking on my niece's high school. So a little family connection here. Talk to me about the Vikings and what kind of season Spring Valley expects to have.
I think they're going to have a really good season. Everyone knows about Channing Tindall. Is probably, depending on what recruiting service you look at, the number one prospect in the state. he really solidifies that defense. You'll see him moving inside, outside. They'll play him in different spots defensively. Offensively, they're so hard to prepare for because they run the option, and it might plod along, might yard here, yard there, but they could come up with an exploding play in that running game, and I think that's why they're hard to prepare for. And I think behind Dutch Fork, they'll probably give Dutch Fork a run for their money in Region 558.
Well, Lou, man, enjoy the game tonight as you get a chance to kick off the high school season and coverage again for the state newspaper. And for all those folks in the Midlands, I know they really appreciate what you do for the high school kids and the high schools in the area, man. Have a good evening.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
There he is, Lou Bajak here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight, taking a look out at the high school football scene in the Midlands. Man, not only travel being a big part of high school football now by comparison to what it was when yours truly was in high school, but, man, some of the facilities. I can't go to River Bluff and look at their facilities and not think to myself, what I wouldn't give to be a kid in 2017 playing high school football in that stadium. I'm telling you, if when I go home, like, I never thought that that W.W. Carter Stadium in Barnwell, South Carolina was, you know, I guess because I lived there, I didn't think it was kind of run down. I didn't think the field was maybe not quite level in some area. I mean, if you were to ask me, I would have said we were playing football on like the most plush greens at Augusta National. But going over to River Bluff and taking a look there, and then maybe driving home and watching a high school football game in the big city of Barnwell, I recognize a significant difference in the playing surface. Zach Lentz, senior writer, ClemsonSportsTalk.com, joins us right after this.
SCMEP is committed to helping manufacturers grow. In 2016, SCMEP partnered with over 400 manufacturers, creating a state impact of over $1.4 billion. If you're a South Carolina manufacturer, SCMEP is here for you. Visit scmep.org/radio. SCMEP is a not-for-profit 501c3 organization, an NIST MEP affiliate, sponsored by SCMEP in cooperation with the South Carolina Broadcasters Association and this station.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman-Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
Very warm overnight tonight with temperatures dipping only to the upper 70s. Tomorrow, sunny and hot. Afternoon highs, upper 90s, but with the humidity, it'll feel even hotter than that. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Toyota's national clearance is underway at Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia. Get 0 APR for 72 months on new 2017 Camrys and RAV4s, plus $1,000 APR bonus cash. Fred Anderson Toyota of Columbia.
Excludes TTL and includes $398 closing fee, $0 down. Approved credit based on $1,389 per thousand financed.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk, your iHeart Radio home for the Clemson Tigers, winners of the 2017 National Championship game.
It is the show that shakes the Southland, Clemson Sports Talk, Fox Sports Radio, the iHeart Radio app, and live on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. New website coming real soon. Joining us now, Zach Lentz, senior writer for Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Zach Lentz CST. Zach, what's up, man?
Nothing much, man. I tell you what, I don't know if you've been pumping it, but I'm sure you have. I'm stoked about this website that we've got coming. I mean, for people that have been waiting since I guess it's been mid-July since we've been telling them that the revamped website's coming. It is coming in, less than 10 days? I tell you.
It's getting close, man. It's getting close, that's for sure. And, of course, all that coverage still over there, though, right now on ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Yep. And everybody can check you out on Twitter at Zach Lentz CST. Zach, we were talking at the opening of the program about the fact that, one, Tavian Feaster is making a little bit of a move right now in terms of the opportunity to maybe get it to the number one spot before the season gets underway. Where would you put that percentage right now if you had to say, you know what, Swanee, there's several days left in camp in preparation for this matchup against Kent State. Tavian Feaster has X percentage to maybe make a run at that number one running back spot.
Well, here's the thing. I would have put it probably at 25% if you had asked me before the start of camp that he would be making a run at the number one spot. However, with a little over a week to go in camp before the Tigers get game preparations underway in full, I would have to say it's greater than 50%. I would say you're probably looking at about 60-40 maybe, that he could be the guy to run out there first when the Tigers take on Kent State.
Yeah, he's got a little ways to go to run down C.J. Fuller, but he's doing a great job with it. The other guy that's kind of surprised a lot of people is Travis Etienne, and you just kind of wonder with this group of running backs and where this team is he a guy that you think is ultimately going to end up as a redshirt candidate, or is this a guy that Clemson's going to run out there in your opinion?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not sure that he will redshirt, but he will travel with the team as the number 4 running back right now. A lot of people were making a big deal about him. The coaches made a big deal about him, so everybody else was making a big deal about him. But Tony Elliott kind of squashed those things, saying, he's very good, he's very talented, he's shown some explosive stuff, but the pass protection, the blitz pickup, all that kind of stuff, he's still very, very green at. He said he will travel with the team because he's basically the number 4 guy, right, the number 4 scholarship guy. So, it wouldn't surprise me for them to take him along, but it also wouldn't surprise me for them to redshirt him. I mean, when you see the stable of talent that they've got at running back right now, if you can get away with 3 guys, I think you take it, but you always want to carry 4 with you. I mean, running back positions, just you're only a ankle or a knee away from being the next man up. But it wouldn't surprise me if he redshirted this year, but travel with the team, very similar to what they did with the quarterbacks last year in Zarek Cooper.
You're right, and I was going to mention Zarek Cooper kind of doing the same thing, and I don't remember if Wayne Gallman traveled at all his freshman year. I know for a while he wasn't traveling as a freshman when he redshirted. So, again, Zach Lentz giving us the inside scoop there on the Clemson Tigers at running back. Now, earlier in the week, it sounded like, and Dabo Swinney, I don't know that he just kind of came out and said, hey, that Kelly Bryant's the guy, but, boy, it sure felt like Kelly Bryant's the guy. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, well, Kelly Bryant has been my biggest surprise this camp. I mean, everybody, including myself, was kind of expecting him to not necessarily fade, but to get passed by Hunter Johnson or Zarek Cooper. I mean, one of these big-time guys. But all he has done has impressed the coaching staff and really the media as well. I mean, when you watch him go out on the field, you're seeing a different player really than what you saw in the spring. Which, if you're a Clemson fan, you're ecstatic about that. I mean, you want a guy that's confident. You want a guy that can go out there and perform, and he's done that, and he's been the most consistent decision maker. And that's really all this team needs to be successful, to find themselves back in the playoff hunt, is a quarterback that makes the right decisions and basically doesn't lose the game for them. I think that's going to be the key at quarterback this year, is who does the coaching staff feel like won't lose the game for them, because the defense is going to be good enough to get this team, or at least have them in the hunt for the playoffs. So they just need a quarterback that's competent. Right now, Kelly Bryant is doing everything right. Now, I will say this. Dabo Swinney did say that he's not going to be opposed to playing at least 3 quarterbacks in the opening game. It was Eric Cooper and Hunter Johnson. And he also said as much praise has been given to Kelly Bryant early going through camp, he said it's ultimately going to come down to who performs in game. You know, there are no practice All-Americans. They don't give away All-American trophies and that kind of stuff on the practice field. It's going to be who can perform in a game. And ultimately that Kent State game could solidify him as the starting quarterback moving forward through the season, or it could expose him as maybe not the quarterback that the coaches thought he was.
Zach, when you look at this Clemson Tiger wide receiver core right now, there's a lot of talent, but the guy that's been injured, he's kind of been playing on both sides of the ball, is Ray McLeod. And just a little bit ago, Jeff Scott put out a tweet that kind of showed wide receiver you after dinner at his house, and I was looking at a guy like Ray McLeod right now, and boy, he physically, at least in photos by comparison to some of the other wide receivers right now, looks like he's put on a good bit of weight this offseason. One, how do you think that'll affect his play? And two, do you think that he's going to be ready to go game one?
Yeah, I do. I think he's going to be ready to go game one. I mean, you know, he was being a little bit nicked up this preseason, but Dabo Swinney told us, I believe it was Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, after practice that he was back 100% with the wide receivers. In fact, he said he was 100% with the wide receivers that day and 25% with the defensive backs. So that shows you Dabo Swinney's not necessarily a math guy.
Yeah, that's 125%. I thought Tigers were supposed to give 110%.
Yeah, well, apparently he's expected a little bit more out of Ray this season. Gotcha. But you know, I think he's going to be okay. I think he's going to push through this. I mean, this is the first time he's really been challenged since being a Tiger. I mean, you know, he kind of walked in expecting to be handed the starting job with Artavis Scott being gone.
Right.
And now he's being really pushed by Amari Rogers and DeAndre Overton as well. I mean, those are two guys that have drawn rave reviews from the coaching staff. But, you know, I think this will do one of two things for Ray. It will either motivate him to become the wide receiver that everybody's kind of expected him to be and that he's shown flashes of being in games, or he's gonna find his way to the bench. I mean, those are the two options for him right now. He's either got to step up his game and become the wide receiver that everybody expects him to be and knows he can be, or he's going to find himself sitting on the bench because there's too much talent waiting to get on the field.
There he is, Zach Lentz, again on Twitter, at Zach Lentz, CST. Zach, my man, have a good weekend, buddy.
Hey, you too, Swanee. We'll talk to y'all later. And, hey, when we get back together on Monday, it's just a week away.
Oh, yeah.
Just a week away.
Won't be long, brother. So, won't be long.
Yep.
Zach Lentz on Twitter, at Zach Lentz, CST. Lowell, the intern. Lowell, the producer. Lowell, the sunflower seed eating expert, here with us today on Clemson Sports Talk. We'll get back with him in a few minutes. We'll update you on 4 Clemson players being named to Sports Illustrated's preseason All-American list. Don't forget Shane Dorr from Palmetto Championship Wrestling coming up in hour number 2. Plus, Urban Meyer with some interesting statements we want to get into with you here on the show that shakes the Southland. We'll do that in the next segment as well. A little preseason All-Americans listing, I guess you would say, from Sports Illustrated, and some strange comments from Coach Urban Meyer when we return.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to win your trip.
The iHeart Radio Music Festival.
Taco Bell's new $1 beefy potato Rito is the perfect comfort food. Crispy potatoes stacked with seasoned beef and melty cheddar cheese. It's all the comfort you need for just $1. Only at Taco Bell.
Warm weather means fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, which can endanger your pets. Fleas and ticks can cause life-threatening disease, and mosquitoes transmit heartworms. There are some new, exciting, innovative treatments for the prevention of these parasites. Protect your pet. Consult your local authority, your neighborhood veterinarian. Brought to you by Midland's Veterinary Practice, where we care for the most valuable pets. yours. Visit us at MidlandsVet.com on Facebook or Twitter. Call us at 750-7387-750-PETS.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they've brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan, with quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show now at 978-1832 or text 803-450-0086.
A record of the delightful piece they're going to play this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, 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 your attention, please, attention, please, attention, please.
And now the moment we've been waiting for is here.
I have something to tell you.
There you go. Man, I'll tell you what. Some of the beats that we get on this show come directly from the Clemson football Twitter feed. That they've put these things to music. Those guys continue to do some of the sickest stuff I've ever seen. Did you happen to see the one that came out about a week ago? It was Deion Kane going up to catch a football. And, like, with every frame, Kane stopped along the way. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. That's ridiculous.
I actually know how to do that.
Oh, here we go.
I actually do.
Lowell, the video expert. Okay, walk us through it there, video man. Or you don't want to give away your... I understand.
Well, I mean, it's just like a freeze frame with extra steps.
Keep it under wraps. Low profile.
Okay.
I respect that,
Can
Lowell.
do that.
Respect. Don't want to give away too much because your future as the video editor here at Clemson Sports Talk, you want to protect that interest. I understand, Lowell. Copyright infringement and whatnot. You don't want people to... I get that. Respect.
I'm looking to be better than those guys on the Clemson football Twitter.
Right. You taught them actually. You drove. They tell us about the day they called you up to consult on making that video, Lowell. Was it a long, arduous process?
I told them a couple things. I told them some stuff. I told them everything they know. I did not teach them everything I know.
Okay. Now the truth comes out. 4 Clemson Tiger players were named to Sports Illustrated preseason All-America team. Dexter Lawrence. What a monster this kid might be, his sophomore year at Clemson was one of those. He was the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. He was named as the ACC Defensive Rookie of the Year. He is only a sophomore and ready to wreak havoc again, says Sports Illustrated. Lawrence was listed on their first team preseason All-American team. Also on there representing the Clemson Tigers, another sophomore, redshirt sophomore, Cleland Farrell at defensive end. Second team selection, Christian Wilkins. And last but not least, Tyrone Crowder was also, and Mitch Hyatt. Tyrone Crowder and Mitch Hyatt. So more than 4, right? Lawrence, Mitch Hyatt, Tyrone Crowder, Christian Wilkins. Lawrence, Mitch Hyatt, Tyrone Crowder, Christian Wilkins, and Cleland Farrell, right? That's 5. 5 guys listed, I believe, on the Sports Illustrated's preseason All-America team. Now, when you talk about Clemson, again, that defensive line, it's going to be incredible. How you feel if you're Austin Bryant right now? I mean, 2 years ago, Austin Bryant was the talk. Austin Bryant, the way he performed in the Orange Bowl when Shaq Lawson went down, the way he performed in the national championship game when he was given opportunities when Shaq Lawson was out, he was kind of the talk of the offseason. Is there an Austin Bryant this year? Is there a guy that's sort of the talk right now for a lot of people who ultimately ends up not having a whole lot of impact on the year, given injuries, given whatever other circumstances you have? Like, who would you take a guess right now would be that Austin Bryant player? You're squinting a little bit, Lowell. Are you thinking it might be a Hunter Renfrow? Could Hunter Renfrow be?
We're not going specifically on the defensive line.
No, I mean, I'm talking could be anywhere on the team. A player
Okay, well, now I have to think a little bit.
Well, because if you think about it last year, I mean, part of the belief about this Clemson Tiger defense was more about Carlos Watkins, Christian Wilkins, and Austin Bryant than it was Clelin Ferrell. Ferrell wasn't an unknown by any means, but I don't think anybody expected him to have the type season that he had. And then with Austin Bryant being injured and Christian Wilkins having to move to the outside, Dexter Lawrence playing a good bit more on the interior, kind of changed things up. But Austin Bryant was a relatively big name during the offseason last year that many people thought was going to have a big year. And because of injuries, it didn't happen for him. I mean, who's that guy that people have sort of talked up, in your opinion, right now that could be somebody that you don't mention come December and January?
It could be Ray McLeod.
It could be.
You think about not only his injury, but the talent that's at that position right now for Clemson as well. With Amari Rodgers and Cornell Powell, Hunter Renfrow can play there too, and kind of do some of the things that would be asked of from Ray. Could be Ray McLeod.
I know we said earlier we were going to talk about Urban Meyer right now, but why don't we roll Urban over just a little bit? Because I think we can probably get through this next topic without talking about Urban Meyer and some comments that he made that I think will shock the world. And Lowell, you know a good bit more about this than I do, because I know you perused this before the show and you said, Swanee, boy, you got to check this out. This is the hottest 30 rivalries in college football, going from the coolest, not hot, to the hottest of all, which was listed as Ohio State versus Michigan. But the Clemson Tigers are up there. Second hottest game in college football. Their matchup against Florida State. Last season, of course, Clemson wins it 37-34. Late game heroics by Deshaun Watson and Jordan Leggett's extra effort, putting the Tigers into the end zone. That series is split 5-5 in the last 10 games. Alabama and Auburn, although Alabama has been dominant recently, Auburn, I think their kick six victory over Alabama kind of added to the allure of that. I think the Cam Newton comeback game added to the heated rivalry that ended up, or that is, simply because Auburn goes on to win a national championship after coming from behind against the Crimson Tide. They've got Oklahoma and Texas on that list, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. So Oklahoma involved in two of the top 5 hottest rivalries in all of college football. The Clemson Tigers, though, are on there again against the South Carolina Gamecocks. That matchup came in at what would be, I guess, technically, 21st hottest. So not the hottest thing in town, although over the last 10, it is split equally 5-5 right now. The Gamecocks, of course, winning 5 consecutive games before Clemson's now 3-game winning streak, looking to extend that to 4. Clemson leads that all-time series 68-42 and 4. But nonetheless, Clemson and Florida State, man, the ACC Atlantic Division's top 2 teams on a consistent basis, ranking in behind only Ohio State and Michigan in terms of the hottest games in college football.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you look at the last 10. It's split down the middle, 5-5. It's what you would expect from the two top teams in the conference.
Yeah, especially when you look at Ohio State and Michigan. The past 10, it's 9-1 for Ohio State.
Yeah. Michigan's trying to find their way back, though. But, I mean, this Clemson-Florida State matchup, you know how everyone every year always talked about the big game, the game you had to watch was Alabama versus LSU. Every year, I think Clemson and Florida State has replaced Alabama and LSU.
It's a good point. By the way, talking about that Michigan-Ohio State game, Michigan leads the all-time series 58-48-6. Imagine this, 10 games ago, that was 57-39, or excuse me, 57-39-6. A significant gain has been made in
Ohio
that
State
series.
coming back.
They are closing the gap against the Maize and Blue. We return hour 2, flip side.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
This is Dave, and we're back on Pit Stop Radio. Listen to what our customers say about their pit stop.
I'm an attorney. I've come to Pit Stop every single day this week because I'm from out of town. My son's at a hockey camp next door, and this thing gets horrible gas mileage. All right, so I drink Miller Lite or Coors Light, and 18-pack cans are $13.99. It's a fantastic price, less than $1 each. I do have special talents, but you'll have to talk to the missus about those.
Want convenience without compromise?
Don't stop till you're at Pit Stop.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4 bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Experience not only our pools, hot tubs, and lazy river, but also our delicious on-site banana boat lounge and cafe, family game room, fitness center, banquet facilities, and much more. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
I'm having hot flashes again.
Susan, you can't be serious.
I said I'm having hot flashes.
You're sitting in a kiddie pool full of ice.
Hot flashes.
Those aren't hot flashes. Our AC is broken.
Oh, well, can you hand me my margarita?
Don't fall victim to hot flashes. Call E.F. Martin for all your cooling. 799-1717 or efmartin.com.
Call E.F. Martin, Heating and Air. When you call us, we'll be there.
Mary, you're glowing gold. I know. I joined the Fuel Rewards program and got rewarded with instant gold status at Shell. And now your body radiates gold?
Yes, and I save 5 cents a gallon on every fill every day.
5 cents a gallon? Wow.
And gold is all the rage this season.
Oh, yeah.
Get rewarded with instant gold status at Shell with the Fuel Rewards program. It's free to join, so join now at fuelrewards.com/gold. Restrictions apply. Active gold status required. Introductory offer valid for 6 months after activation. Limit 20 gallons at participating Shell stations. See fuelrewards.com/gold for full details. Doesn't actually turn bodies gold.
Imagine if I told you that an earthquake was going to hit tomorrow right where you live. That it would be 6.5 in magnitude with aftershocks occurring twice 25 minutes apart. You'd no doubt talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you an earthquake will happen tomorrow. But what if it does? Shouldn't you have a plan? Visit scemd.org and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by the South Carolina Emergency Management Division, FEMA, and the Ad Council.
From the E.F. Martin Heating and Air Studios, this is Fox Sports Radio 1400. WCOS Columbia. Available anywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app.
Fox Sports Trending now.
The Cubs won the lone day game in the majors today, beating Toronto 7-4. Jake Arrieta went 6 1/3 innings for the win, 1 run allowed, 6 strikeouts. With TrueCar, you can find out what other people in your area paid for the same car you're looking for, new or used. Visit TrueCar to enjoy a more confident car buying experience. One NFL exhibition tonight, Minnesota at Seattle, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Seahawks running back Thomas Rawls will not play due to a sore ankle, so Eddie Lacy will start. Carolina QB Cam Newton with his shoulder will miss tomorrow afternoon's game at Tennessee. He could play next week. Atlanta wide receiver Julio Jones will not play Sunday afternoon against Pittsburgh, coming back from foot surgery, and running back Devontae Freeman is out with a concussion. The Ravens signed center Jeremy Zuttah, reported 2-year deal. Baltimore traded him to San Francisco in May. The 49ers cut him last week. Penn State approved a new 6-year deal for Coach James Franklin. I'm Steve DeSay.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set, just call me Swanee.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's prime time right here on Fox Sports Radio and iHeart Radio. Lawton Swan, the artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern, in the building. 803-978-1832. I can't call you the artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern.
I didn't say anything. I was just looking at you.
You don't like being known as the artist formerly known as the Intern?
I didn't say anything. I was just looking at you.
We could just give you a symbol like Prince did when he changed to the artist formerly known as Prince. He used to have a symbol for his name.
Like an emoji?
You'd be that green barfing one, maybe. That'd be a good one.
We actually have a Lowell the Intern emoji.
We technically do.
In our Slack chat.
It's nice. Okay, let's see here. Lots going on. I don't even know where to begin. I mean, I know what I had on the docket to talk about. It was Urban Meyer. But then during the break, I got to jumping around and looking at some things. And I'm kind of like a kindergartner on the first day of school. I mean, I'm all over the place right now. Have you seen Notre Dame's new throwback uniforms, the cleats that they're going to wear with them yet, Lowell?
I have not.
You couldn't make them more retro than this. They look like old shoe leather. They look like actual shoes that were probably worn by players back during the 1930s and 40s. They're brown. They look almost the color of a baseball glove with the when a baseball glove's kind of got that braided.
They just look like boots.
Yeah. I mean, but you know how a baseball glove has that braided mesh section. They've got that on the front. I mean, it's a really unique looking shoe. Like if you saw it, you would think it was real leather. Throwing it way back. They look like something Peter Pan would wear. Like I kind of picture those as being like Peter Pan boots.
Peter Pan was basically a leprechaun.
Basically, yeah.
He could just fly and stuff. I don't think leprechauns fly. I think they teleport.
More research on that, I think we'll have to do. Also, this news, and you know what, we'll put this news about Hugh Freeze. We got the College Sports Corner coming up, brought to you by our good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. It's back, baby, the College Sports Corner. Lowell, can we put the Hugh Freeze story in the College Sports Corner? Would that be all right? Okay, so you allow me to make that executive decision here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight? Great. Let's talk about Urban Meyer. Respect. Lots of respect for Urban Meyer. I mean, what a great, great head coach he's been, not only during his time at Florida, also at Ohio State. They clearly, though, were not ready for the Clemson Tigers in the Fiesta Bowl. Clemson's 31-0 victory. Just a punctuation mark at this point on the season, not an exclamation point, because the Tigers went on to win the national championship against the Alabama Crimson Tide. But the Ohio State Buckeyes head coach thought that Penn State actually had a case to get into the college football playoff. Now, in fairness to the coach, you could believe that Penn State should have been in without technically eliminating yourself, because there was a fourth team behind you, the Washington Huskies. But in essence, I think most people believe that if Penn State were in the college football playoff, they would have been in over Ohio State. Again, Penn State won the conference. Penn State defeated Ohio State heads up. When you hear Urban Meyer say that, though, when you hear Urban Meyer basically say that he thought Penn State should have had a chance, what does that mean exactly for Ohio State, in your opinion? Does that mean he felt like Penn State should have been in over Ohio State? Is this ramifications from the 31-0 loss? Urban Meyer told Chris Lowe from ESPN he understands Penn State's frustration from a year ago, and they should have belonged in that playoff absolutely. Again, he doesn't have to eliminate himself in order to squeeze them in at number 4 ahead of Washington. But boy, if you were going to put Penn State in, I think most people would say that it would have been Penn State who was the team that was eliminated.
You mean Ohio State?
Ohio State was the team that was eliminated.
There's a lot of states here.
A lot of states. And a lot at stake with your comments here as well.
I think publicly the committee, when they explained their selections, they said the 4 and 5, Washington and Penn State, the debate was between those two. I think that's what they said publicly. The problem would be, and that it's hard for me to believe that that was actually what they were thinking, because although Washington had a terrible non-conference schedule, they did win a conference title. And the first thing listed in the criteria for the college football playoff is championships won.
Okay.
For that reason, I think Washington was safe all along. I have to believe that they had talks about Ohio State or Penn State, because Ohio State did not win a conference title. Penn State did that. Penn State won the head-to-head. One of the other criteria for the College Football Playoff Committee, one of the other things they consider is the head-to-head. If it happened, it did. Penn State won. And then there's the fact that they have said that they hesitate to put in 2 teams from one conference, and they're not going to do it unless they absolutely have to. For those 3 reasons, I have to believe the real debate was between Ohio State and Penn State.
You start to think, too, about conferences and not necessarily the structure of conferences, because right now, with the Big 12 adding a championship game, every conference of the Power 5 is going to play a championship game, which I think is important.
Which they did, because, again, the committee thinks very highly of conference champions, which is why the Big 12 has been snubbed in the past.
The thing I think that conferences as a whole, at some point with the size of these leagues, would be wise to consider is some sort of rotation to balance out the divisions. I think the other healthy thing about doing something like that is, as ridiculous as that may sound for some people, because when some people hear that you could potentially shift around your divisions to some degree, a lot of people get a little a little concerned. I mean, they don't want the SEC East to look any different than it looks. They want South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, on and on. They want the tradition to stay the same. The problem is with the size of these conferences now, especially in a league like the ACC, I can absolutely point towards it. Teams that you used to play consistently, you don't play anymore unless you hook up with them in the ACC championship game. Clemson and North Carolina, Clemson and Virginia. And there's a lot of games out there that if leagues were willing to shift the power balance, and it's tough, and here's why it's tough. Just because you won the conference championship in 2017 doesn't mean you're going to finish outside of the bottom 3 teams in your conference in 2018. But I do think for the health of these leagues and for additional opportunities to play multiple teams that maybe you don't get to play right now, maybe every 2 or 3 years they should look at the overall record of these teams, not 1 year, maybe a 4-year window, whatever, and go, okay, we are going to restructure our conference based on the past 4 years of success.
You could make this easy. You could get rid of divisions and just do, you schedule the ACC games basically however you want to schedule them, and you can match up with all sorts of other teams from the other division.
Yeah.
Although from the other former division, and then what you do is you just take the 2 top teams and you play them in the ACC championship game.
Didn't we go through this a few months back? Isn't North Carolina playing Wake Forest in a few years, didn't we say, in an out-of-conference game? I think that's the one. I think
so.
I think that's the one. And the reason they're doing that, and it's so unfortunate, is they're trying to keep alive some part of a former rivalry that no longer really gets to exist. It ceases to exist. I like the fact that Clemson plays Georgia Tech every year. And it's made Georgia Tech feel like an even bigger rival, I think, for a lot of people at Clemson. But, man, I kind of miss Virginia every once in a while. I kind of miss some of those teams from the Coastal Division like North Carolina that Clemson used to play quite frequently. And that's something that I think, unfortunately, if we don't begin to focus on a solution, I mean, Clemson plays Notre Dame more. Notre Dame more in the next, I don't know if it's 10 years or 15 years, than they play North Carolina.
Clemson's probably not going to see Pitt until late 2020s.
Well, am I even going to be around for that? What year is this? 2017? I may not make it. I'll be 50 the next time they play or whatever it is. It's just a little bit frustrating. It's not that the system is, quote, broken, but I feel like there's a fix for a problem.
I'll be honest, I don't particularly like the divisions. I think you could get rid of the division. It may be a little more chaotic as far as scheduling goes.
Scheduling would be tough.
But you can figure it out. These are smart guys. They get paid a lot of money to do this.
Well, there's also computers that'll do a lot of it.
Right. You get rid of the divisions, and it does a couple things. Number one, you get to play other teams more frequently that you normally don't get to play.
Okay.
Number two, it eliminates a situation like you had a couple of years ago where 5 and 6 Georgia Tech made the ACC championship against undefeated Florida State. You get the 2 best teams squaring off in your championship game. The only downside I see is how chaotic scheduling could get, but you have computers. You have smart guys to figure that out. I'm in favor of ditching the divisions.
After what happened to Ohio State against Clemson, being beaten down 31-0, did that essentially eliminate a non-conference champ from getting in moving forward outside of a scenario where the conference champ from that league is already in? If you see what I'm saying. Saying two teams from one conference, I could see that, because let's say this Clemson Florida State scenario plays out where one of those teams goes undefeated, the other one loses a tight game to each other, whichever team you think wins, and everything else kind of falls apart in some of these other leagues. But did the way Clemson discarded, I think that's a fair way to put it, Ohio State, did that or will that affect the way the College Football Playoff Committee views conference champions versus non-conference champions, even given the records?
I don't think so. Because I still think, even with that game, I still think the committee put the right teams into the playoff. I think the biggest problem Penn State had was trying to bounce back from the non-conference loss to Pittsburgh and getting absolutely slaughtered by Michigan. They lost that game, 49-10?
I don't remember, but I don't think it was good.
And the way they did beat Ohio State, but the way they beat Ohio State was incredibly fluky. And so I don't think that was enough to push them over the edge ahead of Ohio State. Ohio State had consistently performed better all year long than Penn State. And so I think, in my mind, the committee got the four teams right.
Speaking of the Nittany Lions, today Penn State approved a new 6-year contract extension for James Franklin, their head coach. Franklin's average salary will now be $5.73 million annually over the length of his new deal. Franklin was supposed to make $4.7 million this year under the previous contract. The new contract will place Franklin among the 5 highest-paid coaches in college football, along with Nick Saban, Jim Harbaugh, Urban Meyer, and Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. Franklin's deal is worth a total of $34.3 million over the next 6 years. Big money coming James Franklin's way. You know, it's funny. Saban with a title. Michigan's Jim Harbaugh second. Urban Meyer with a title. Jimbo Fisher with a title. And now James Franklin in the mix. One of these things is not like the other. One of these things is missing. Dabo Swinney, the only other coach who has a title, not up there in the top 5 as far as salary goes as a head coach. 803-978-1832 if you want to be a part of the program. FSU fan joins us here on the Friday edition. What's up, FSU fan?
What's up, man? How's it going with y'all?
We're good.
Take my phone call on both of you guys and Lowell. But don't worry, my friend. Dabo Swinney will be up there, before long. I predict within the next 2 years to get that big payday extension. But man, I had to make sure I was right, and Lowell told me that I was right. That you said that y'all play Georgia Tech every year. I never did pay that no attention, and that goes back to where I had talked briefly on that just a little bit earlier in the week. That's why Georgia Tech needs to change their offense. And like I said, I don't want Paul Johnson to get fired, but there was some way that he can just say, "Hey, I'm gonna just change my offense," because they can all of a sudden just be able to vie more for an ACC championship game and a national title. Not national title, but a playoff team, because of the talent that's in Georgia and the talent that surrounds them from the surrounding states. But I cannot call Clemson and Georgia Tech a rivalry just because they play each other every year, and because that the way their offense is built up. The way Clemson is building things now, Georgia Tech don't stand a chance with y'all, man. They may luck up, and they beat us that one year when we had Everett Ghost in there. But we had kicking problems that game, and Jimbo Fisher called that game, based on the personnel and what was going on, So I cannot call that game a rivalry between Georgia Tech and Clemson until Georgia Tech improve on offense.
There you go. FSU fan peeking over the fence, having some fun with us here tonight. Always love the Seminoles representing here on Clemson Sports Talk. Good stuff there. 803-978-1832. You can text us. Thanks to our friends at the Ocean Reef Resort. That's 803-450-0086. We're back in 3.
When a stroke happens, every second counts. So don't drive and call 911 to get to the emergency department as soon as possible. At Lexington Medical Center, we're pleased to serve our community. As a certified primary stroke center, our acute stroke team rapidly evaluates patients and provides them with the fastest treatment possible. This specialized care limits the chance of brain damage and gives stroke patients a better chance of full recovery. Act quickly at the first sign of a stroke and count on the Stroke Center at Lexington Medical Center to provide you with the best possible care.
Our customers receive the best heating and air conditioning service in South Carolina. Hi, I'm Tim Mosley, and I can make that statement because that's what our customers tell us every day. We call it quality confirmed. Call us at 803-233-7172, and we'll call you when the job is done to confirm we met your expectations. That's quality confirmed. We're Carolina Conditions, and we're committed to meeting your expectations. 803-233-7172. Call us at 803-233-7172.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to Win Your Trip.
Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
803-978-1832, 803-978-1832. FSU fan was talking about Georgia Tech. We'll jump over there and touch on the Yellow Jackets again here. Boy, a couple of times here tonight. It's almost been Yellow Jacket sports talk. The way we kicked off the show, talking about their dismissed running back, their leading rusher, Dedrick Mills, was dismissed earlier today. Now we've kind of turned our attention a little bit further towards the Yellow Jackets. I did see, though, however, here on Clemson Sports Talk tonight that we got a note from our good friend Boozer. Chimes in. He says, Swanee, listening to the podcast about the Georgia Tech car. That's the one we talked about with the rambling wreck. He said, a member of the Barnwell Mafia, John Webb, married a girl whose father was a Georgia Tech grad, and they left their wedding reception in the rambling wreck. I hope they weren't the ones that actually crashed it. That's where people, that's what I was telling you guys. They crashed it. Well, not them, but somebody crashed the rambling wreck. Lowell, see if you can get some information on when the rambling wreck was, well, wrecked while people are rambling around in it. FSU fan, though, made a statement about Georgia Tech and maybe changing that Paul Johnson offense to make it a little bit more exciting and recruit a little bit better, especially in the state of Georgia. I'm looking on their roster right now. I just wanted to get a feel. And I don't know how many guys are on Clemson's roster from the state of Georgia. But I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 25 guys here. I mean, like 35 plus guys from the state of Georgia on that team, and it's probably well above that number. It's not as if, they have a lack of a recruiting base. I think part of their problem is just that system. I don't know that the same 50 guys from the state of Georgia would be a part of this team otherwise, but you feel like there would probably be some different playmakers that are out playing football at, say, a Kansas State, guys who are playing at maybe even a Michigan who might want to go there. The other question I would have is about the admissions at Georgia Tech. And I don't know if Georgia Tech holds higher admission standards than the Atlantic Coast Conference in general or not. But that would be something to, I think, perhaps look into to see if that's another reason that they haven't quite been as good as maybe some people would have wanted them to be. But they had to forfeit an ACC championship. They won a national championship back in the 90s. It's not as if they've been devoid of talent, but I do think the archaic system is just not very fun. Lowell, did you find anything on the Ramblin' Wreck actually being wrecked?
I found something with some pictures, but that's about it.
It was the wedding?
I don't know. It's just a picture. It just says pictures of the Ramblin' Wreck post-crash. This is from 2007.
That seems about right. In my mind, that seems about right. I think the other part of Georgia Tech's issues are the fact that they're located in the heart of Atlanta. It's a major metropolitan area. And they're dealing with the Braves. They're dealing with the Falcons. They're dealing with the Hawks. They're dealing with the Thrashers or the Predators or whoever. Is it the Thrashers, the Atlanta Thrashers? Is that their hockey team? I mean, they're just dealing with a lot of extracurricular professional teams in their area. Are you having trouble with Atlanta's hockey team name, or did they move on?
They are now the Winnipeg Jets.
So they're gone. What year did they leave?
They were there from 99 to 2011.
I'll now go back to our regularly scheduled programming. So they're no longer the Thrashers? That was 2011? Where have I been? Winnipeg's back? I like it. I like a little hockey. I don't watch it but the playoffs.
Playoffs?
Yeah, I do watch the playoffs in hockey. You watch much hockey, Lowell?
I will on occasion when the playoffs come around, but not a big hockey guy. I did love the hockey puck tracker at that. I think it was Fox.
Yeah.
That did the hockey puck tracker and have like a laser.
That was years ago.
That was fantastic.
That was years ago. That was trying to get the American audience to tune in. Now that it's high definition, you can actually see the puck. It's not bad. The Hurricanes, though, the Carolina Hurricanes, they were once who? They were the Hartford Whalers, weren't they? They came from Connecticut down to South Carolina, or down to North Carolina to play in Raleigh.
I will confirm.
We're testing Lowell's Googling skills here on Clemson Sports.
Hartford Whalers.
Yeah.
1979 to 1997.
Yeah, I remember they came to North Carolina when I was in college because I had a buddy who was from Hartford, and he was a big Whalers fan, and he was so sad and happy. Sad because they were moving, but happy they were moving close to Clemson.
Do you know what team I miss?
In sports in general?
And the hockey team. The Columbia Inferno. I loved going to Inferno games.
Did you like to go to the Inferno over here at the Carolina, what's it called? What was that old building called?
It was the Carolina Coliseum.
The Coliseum. That's it, the Carolina Coliseum.
I loved going to Inferno games. I was so sad.
Did you sit on the floor and bang the glass? I mean, is that you?
I have before. That was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, those games were inexpensive, fun. I have you been to a Fireflies game yet?
No, I have not.
They're pretty entertaining. They've got a fire truck out in right field that just sprays water on the kids. And, I mean, it's a big time out there. It's a fun time. You should make your way over there one day and check it out. But I'll tell you, man, teams that are gone, that's a great topic, Lowell. Teams that have since vanished that you miss. I could dig in on that for a little bit. I mean, fortunately for some of these cities, they've come back. I mean, had the Cleveland Browns not gone to Baltimore and then returned out of the blue as the Cleveland Browns, they would be one that people probably miss. The Raiders are back in Oakland.
St. Louis doesn't have a team anymore.
Not in football, no. They've lost the Cardinals and the Rams. When I was a kid, I mean, it was the St. Louis Cardinals, the football team. And then they went to Arizona. I think they were the Arizona Cardinals. And then they turned into the Phoenix Cardinals. But they're back to being Arizona now, right? They've switched back. It's the Arizona Cardinals again. They switched to being the Phoenix Cardinals for like 2 years, 3 years.
I can't say that I remember that. I always remember them being Arizona.
And now we got the Hornets back, but it's really not the Hornets. That's been a bit of a bounce around.
Oh, that's why I don't remember them being the Phoenix Cardinals, because they were the Phoenix Cardinals from 1988 to 1993, and I was born in 1992.
Okay,
so I have no memory of the Phoenix Cardinals.
So when they left St. Louis, they became the Phoenix Cardinals.
Right.
Then they were the Arizona Cardinals, and they've been the Arizona Cardinals.
They've been the Arizona Cardinals for all but 2 years of my life.
I would say that that's the move you want to make if you're a franchise. And I think that even though there are a lot of people in South Carolina that may not buy into the Carolina Panthers still, I think it's brilliant to not call yourself the North Carolina Panthers or the Charlotte Panthers. I think to put yourself in a geographic statewide region the way the Carolina Panthers has is healthy.
Oh, this is weird. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Cardinals once merged and were a team together. They were called Card Pit.
Yeah, that didn't fly over very well, I'm sure, for very long. When we come back, the College Sports Corner brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac.
iHeartRadio wants nothing more than to bring you closer to your favorite artists.
This is Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
So we've updated the iHeartRadio app. No, it's an upgrade. All your favorite music and stations, easier to find. Getting you closer to the music you love with just a tap.
This is Taylor Momsen from The Pretty Reckless, and this is iHeartRadio.
All your favorite music, all your favorite stations, all free. Download and open the new iHeartRadio app today.
Stars and Stripes Sports is a leader in the sports athlete development market, offering innovative health, fitness, training, and player development solutions for players and coaches of all levels of youth sports. Stars and Stripes Sports is looking to add at least 2 people per state to start their own business for sports testing and to market these events locally. We want people to start their programs in early 2017, starting with spring training. Many high-quality athletes fail to reach their potential. Call Chris today, 704-737-9970, or email Chris Carlson at starsandstripesports.com.
Tiger fans, look no further than the Tiger Sports Shop in Clemson for all your game day gear. Since 1974, they brought you everything Clemson for the Clemson fan, with quality brand names such as Nike, Under Armour, Antigua, Ping, and many more. From hats to t-shirts to tailgate, the Tiger Sports Shop has all the Clemson apparel a true Tiger fan needs. With 2 convenient game day locations in Tigertown, shop where I shop at I Am Ibrahim's Tiger Sports Shop. They fuel the passion of Tiger fans everywhere. Check them out online, tigersports.com.
Love it raw? For the freshest sushi in town, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, 807 Gervais Street in the Vista. Sakatumi's flavorful grill for non-sushi fans features the Kobe burger, filet and lobster, chicken hibachi, and more. Fresh sushi, flavorful grill, Sakatumi Grill and Sushi Bar, sakifresh.com.
Cottingham Family Dentistry is proud to announce the opening of their new office located at 3722 Devon Street, and they're welcoming new patients. What makes Cottingham Family Dentistry different? It's in the name, family. They will cater to your needs and the dental needs of your children. Cottingham Family Dentistry offers same-day crowns, dental implants, cosmetic dentistry including whitening, veneers, and tooth-colored fillings, and many other dental services. If you're searching for an amazing dental home, call 776-4234 or stop by their new office at 3722 Devon Street and become a part of the family at Cottingham Family Dentistry.
Very warm overnight tonight with temperatures dipping only to the upper 70s. Tomorrow, sunny and hot, afternoon highs, upper 90s, but with the humidity, it'll feel even hotter than that. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is brought to you by your local Food Lion.
Summer's still sizzling with low prices at Food Lion. Save on T-bone steaks, just $6.99 a pound. Also save big on fresh 3-pound bags of Food Lion navel oranges, just $2.99 each. And whole seedless watermelon is just $3.99 each. Food Lion, how refreshing.
Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
Kane is in the building.
Clemson Sports Talk. Lawton Swan, the artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern. History Lessons 101.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun going back and looking at these old teams.
Well, we did a little bit of this a while back when I was going through the fact that it did not matter how many old NFL championships you won, that it was only about the Super Bowl. But you've dug up some interesting factoids during the break that we need to get to before we get into the College Sports Corner. So you gave us the card pits earlier, also called the carpets, apparently.
Because they went 0-10, so they were, yeah. But
Gotcha.
Right.
Is that accurate? Is that what it said? Or did you make that up?
No, no. The carpets. No, this is what sports writers called them when they went 0-10. Okay. I did not make that up.
All right. What year is that?
It was during the 1944 season. They merged because they lost too many players to World War II.
Right.
And so they merged together so they could have a team. And it was the second season in a row that the Steelers had combined with another team. They combined with the Eagles in 1943, again, because they had both lost too many players to the war.
Yeah.
And they became the Steagulls for the 1943 season.
Can you imagine that happening today? Like the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons merging to become the Fanthers? or the Falcons?
I really wanted...
You got to be careful. Be careful who you merge now. You could get something that's not very nice.
I really wanted Seattle and Philadelphia to merge so that they could be the Seagulls.
That's horrible. That's horrible. What would be a good merger? You could the Bengals and the Browns could become the Brown Bengals. That's not terrible. You can't call them the Browngles or the Bringles. Sounds like Pringles.
I was just thinking about Pringles. That's where I thought you were going with that.
And you didn't know the Dodgers were from L.A. I thought that was funny, too.
The Brooklyn Dodgers, had no idea that existed.
A football team. There was also the baseball team that then became the Los Angeles Dodgers as well.
The Cleveland Rams, that was a thing, apparently.
Is that the ones that became Los Angeles or no? You're not sure?
I'm not sure.
All right, I'll tell you what.
I can check.
Well, we gotta hit the College Sports Corner. I want you to lead the way.
They did become the Rams.
There we go. I want you to lead the way, Lowell, through tonight's College Sports Corner, brought to you by. Ouch. That everybody awake, class? Brought to you by our good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac.
Clemson Sports Talk presents the College Sports Corner, brought to you by Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. Just a short drive down I-26 at exit 145A in Orangeburg. Now, CST reporter Lawton Swan.
What's the issue?
I thought it was kind of low. Was it not kind of low at first?
It did sound kind of low. I don't know what was up with that.
I know
maybe it broke when it screeched at us.
Yeah, my ears are still ringing. I can tell you that much from what happened a moment ago. Can you imagine somebody driving down the road right now listening to that, Lowell? Ah! All right, Lowell, the College Sports Corner. You have the documents in a hermetically sealed envelope to which I do not know the contents. You dish on the topics, and I pontificate.
Well, we'll start locally. South Carolina basketball has suspended point guard Rakeem Felder. Now, Felder was somewhat of a hero in the NCAA tournament last year for South Carolina, stepped up in a lot of big moments. But he was arrested back in July for third-degree assault and battery, and Frank Martin announced that he was suspended indefinitely.
Yeah, this is this is a tough thing that coaches and fans and teammates don't want to have to deal with. You know what I mean? You just, as we said earlier, you got to figure out, man, no matter what, in personal accountability is such a big deal. And when players don't have it, when players lack personal accountability, no matter what happens, and I don't expect players to just take abuse from other people, but the old saying, I think discretion is the better part of valor, is something that you've got to be willing to say, you know what, this is a bad situation. Apparently, officers responded to a large brawl, according to reports, and a 22-year-old woman told officers that Felder had spit on her, an action which at least partially started this fight between these two parties. And again, I don't know what was happening before. I don't know what's happening after. But I can tell you, when you're a college athlete, when you get to the point of whatever's happened makes you decide that this is now potentially a good idea to spit on somebody and get this fight exacerbated, that's the moment you got to walk away. You got to just say, forget it, it's not worth it. Whatever's happened, I'm going another direction with my decision. And there's no other excuse. Personal accountability is huge for college athletes.
The hits keep on coming for Hugh Freeze at Ole Miss. It came out today that Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze, let me learn
Hugh Freeze.
Old Hugh Freeze. Let me learn how to speak English here. Ole Miss head coach Hugh Freeze and a disassociated booster, Lee Harris, who had allegedly given a recruit cash and free food at his Mississippi restaurant, called each other at least 200 times between January 2015 and the end of Freeze's tenure last month, according to a report by USA Today. The phone calls include the period in which Harris became a part of the NCAA's investigation into Ole Miss and continued before and after his interview with the NCAA on November 6, 2016, in which he provided information that was determined to be false.
I don't have much to say right now about Ole Miss. They are, in my opinion, about as bad as you can get in terms of what they were doing under Hugh Freeze. And the more things like this come out, we talked the other week about could Hugh Freeze get a job back in college football. 200 phone calls to a booster who was alleged to have given, I don't know if it was alleged or confirmed,
says allegedly,
to have given the additional benefits to players. That's not a good look. South Carolina fans, let's make it simple. If it were Dabo Swinney, it'd be a terrible look. If it was Will Muschamp, it would be a terrible look. You can't be associating with boosters who have allegations of misconduct against them 200 times. I call my nephew a lot. In a calendar year, I don't think I talked to my nephew 200 times, if that just tells you where he was in terms of the phone call history. We're back, final segment of the week on the show that shakes the Southland.
Win your trip to our 2017 iHeart Radio Music Festival, hosted by Ryan Seacrest.
Let's go!
Over 20 of the greatest performers on the planet. September 22nd and 23rd at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Listen to win your trip.
Vegas!
Capital One is the proud marquee partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival. So cardholders, make sure to have your Capital One card with you at the Daytime Village presented by Capital One to unlock exclusive opportunities. See you in Vegas.
Do you want a pharmacy that treats you like a person and not just a number? Then let Craig and Lori at Southlake Drug show you what a pharmacy should be. Fast, friendly, and professional. Southlake Drug can transfer your prescriptions and take the hassle out of getting your medicine and getting you on your way. Southlake Drug takes all major insurance programs, including Medicare, Medicaid, and state employees, and they provide immunization services, including flu shots with no wait and no appointment. Southlake Drug, 1856 Southlake Drive in the Food Line Shopping Center, 399-7701, or southlakedrug.com.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat and Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat and Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
Need custom shirts, hats, or uniforms? How about promotional giveaways for your business or organization? Need fast turnaround times? Look no further than Meridian Printing and Promotions. Located in Lexington, they provide an in-house art department, in-house screen printing, and in-house embroidery services to the Midlands and beyond. For the absolute best quality products and services, contact Meridian Printing and Promotions, 785-4990. Check them out online, mbspromo.com.
For more information about contests on this station, go to foxsportsradio1400.com/rules. Welcome back to Clemson Sports Talk. Join the show in the chat room at clemsonsportstalk.com.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Weeknight, 6 to 8 p.m., Fox Sports Radio, iHeart Radio, ClemsonSportsTalk.com is the website. The Clemson Tiger men's basketball team made their way back from Barcelona, again, a day following tragedies there in terms of a terrorist attack. But the young men from Clemson all made it back safely. Dante Grantham saying that it was like 10,000 people scattering, running at us, falling down. A scary, scary moment for sure for all of those Clemson Tiger players as they were over in Barcelona during that attack yesterday. But they are back safe and sound, so that's good news for the Clemson Tiger family. Unfortunately, not everybody is lucky, so our thoughts and prayers go out to all the victims of the senseless tragedy that took place in Spain yesterday. 803-978-1832. 803-978-1832. I know everybody who has a loved one on the basketball team or is a part of the Clemson basketball team was certainly excited to get back home and safe and sound on U.S. soil after that moment. But again, Dante Grantham's comments saying it was like 10,000 people scattering, running at us, falling down. Lowell the Intern, I know we talked a little college football earlier, or the artist formerly known as Lowell the Intern. We talked a little college football, or high school football earlier, excuse me. Boy, in the state of Texas, they always told me back when I was a kid that everything's bigger in Texas. Apparently high school football stadiums continue to be all the talk out that way. What's the latest scoop on the high school stadium you were telling me about during the break?
Yeah, a town called Katy, K-A-T-Y, I assume that's how you say that.
Yeah, Katy.
In Texas, It's a small town in southeast Texas. Unveiled its new football stadium. Now, this isn't really news. There's football stadiums, high school stadiums spouting up all over Texas. What makes this significant news is the cost. $70 million spent on this football stadium. It will seat 12,000 people. It'll serve as the playing grounds for all varsity football games in the Katy Independent School District, which also encompasses several towns outside Houston, has 8 high school football teams. So this won't be one team using it, but $70 million seems like a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, that seems like a lot for a high school stadium. I talked about how did high schools afford to get to a lot of these games. Obviously, taxpayer money going in to pay for this, but that's a nice stadium for anybody. Lowell, Monday's the big event here in the Midlands, apparently. It's only a 73-mile wide track across the country of this total eclipse. And we're going to be here. We're going to be here, assuming we survive it. I mean, based on the way people are talking, man, this thing, how are we ever going to survive? We seem to have had one of these back when I was a kid. I don't remember it being quite as big of a deal. I think we're looking for something to talk about. I think that's the scoop on this thing. Now, do you have your protective glasses, Lowell?
I do. We do have protective glasses.
Oh,
also, I don't think you had one when you were a kid.
1979, maybe?
Let me check when the last one was.
Yeah. Don't these things happen quite a bit, just not in the same area? I don't know how frequently they happen. Well, you got your glasses. You know you can make a little pinhole camera with a sheet of paper from what I read online if you need to. You think there's going to be thousands of people? Do you think it's going to be tough getting in here on Monday? Are the interstates, I know the police or the highway patrolmen are supposed to be out there protecting us, but do you think it's going to be tough to get around on Monday?
Yeah, I do. Let's just say this about...
You do know it's dark for like 2 minutes.
Let's just say this about drivers in the state of South Carolina and the South in general. They do not handle weather or natural events very well. Can we agree to that?
Okay.
Would you disagree with that statement?
No, go on. 316 Greystone Boulevard if you have anything to say to Lowell about it.
Come on over. So, even if it's a short 2-minute thing, yeah, I have a feeling that there may be some traffic jams.
My thing is this, and I think I said this earlier this week, and this is what I really don't understand. It's a 73-mile wide band. It's not like the eclipse is driving down I-26. Do you follow my logic? There may be an eclipse driving down I-26 right now, but do you follow my logic? You can see this thing from Winsboro to Orangeburg. You'd think you'd have to be right outside our studio with the way everybody's flocking to the Midlands.
Yeah, it makes sense, though, being the capital of the state, and so everyone's going to come to the capital to watch the eclipse, because a lot of people may only know of one city that exists in South Carolina, so they're just going to come to the city they know.
But if you followed the map, if you've studied the map of the
nobody studies maps.
Whatever they call it, the total eclipse trajectory or whatever the thing is called. You could just stop in, I don't know, Union. You could watch from there. I think it's so strange that so many people are coming to the Midlands. I see Davey D and Clemson Craig talking about it in our chat room right now. They're like, it's going to be a mess all weekend. I can't believe that. I mean, I'm not telling you it's not going to be, but it's hard for me to believe that we don't have better things to do than ride around looking at a eclipse. I'm just not into it.
Well, I wasn't alive when the last eclipse happened, so I'm into it.
When was the last one that happened?
It was in 1979.
I survived it. Made it through. It was. I remember trying to recuperate from that. I was too. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not like. I don't think I'm going to be outside all day watching this thing.
I don't think it's going to last all day, so that won't be an issue.
Would you travel somewhere for 2 minutes of whatever that thing is?
Maybe not for this one, because there is going to be another one in 2023, so I could probably just wait until 2023.
There's another one coming here in 2023.
Right. It's not a long separation until the next one.
We sure are expecting a lot of people to believe it is. I'm interested. I didn't have any trouble getting in here to work today. Did you?
No, not really. No.
And I'll be leaving here in a few minutes, and I'll be expecting heavy traffic. But I don't know it's going to be there. Over under the amount of time you spend outside Monday watching the eclipse.
I'll probably watch the whole thing.
You know there's a whole partial portion of the eclipse, right? Like, it's not like it just all of a sudden is going to go dark like somebody flipped the switch.
Yeah, I understand how an eclipse works, Swanee.
I'm not sure you do, Lowell. If you come in here on Monday or Tuesday and you can't see because you got some of those bad glasses, check the ISO numbers.
I got the legit glasses.
There he is. Lowell the intern. We'll be back. A total eclipse of the episode on Monday. Until then, as always, y'all take care now. And go Tigers!
At OPEX Columbia, we aim to inspire, empower, and challenge individuals to reach their highest potential. We take this mission very seriously and sincerely desire to help people achieve the goals they set out for themselves. OPEX Columbia is where you will excel no matter what your goal, whether that be health and wellness, body composition, or being a competitive athlete. We are conveniently located downtown across from the South Carolina Baseball Stadium. Contact us at opexcolumbia.com and mention this ad to receive 10% off your 3-part assessment.
Looking to get away without having to spend a whole day traveling to your destination? Ocean Reef Resort offers 1, 2, 3, and 4-bedroom accommodations with the comforts of home and boasts the best oceanfront views. Swim in their sparkling indoor and outdoor pools, relax in their hot tubs, try out the Adventure Oasis pool with adult-sized water slide, or just float down the 250-foot lazy river. Visit us at oceanreefmyrtlebeach.com or call us at 1-866-935-0530 to learn more.
Hey guys, Lawton Swan here. I was hanging out in the backyard with my son Mason the other day, and he said, "Dad, you're the best father ever." I was like, "What makes you say that, son?" He said, "When I go outside to play now, I don't get eaten up by the bugs anymore." Imagine that, me, a hero, when all I did was just a couple of weeks ago call Trey Powell at Mosquito Joe with their routine service plan. No more bugs and no more bites. Make yourself the family hero. Call Mosquito Joe today, 803-223-7916. Outside is fun again.
Have you been thinking about sprucing up your yard, debating between pine straw or mulch? Call my friends at Carolina Turfgrass to get your yard looking as great as mine right now. I chose to go with pine straw this year, and it looks incredible. Carolina Turfgrass is conveniently located at 5400 Augusta Road in Lexington, and if you need your order delivered, they can take care of that too. In addition, Carolina Turfgrass carries a wide variety of turfs, including Centipede and Bermuda. For unmatched quality and service, call Carolina Turfgrass, 446-6525. Look for Carolina Turfgrass on Highway 1 in Lexington.
Attention, anyone who's suffering from lower back pain.